Hi, everyone. I'm Bri Ana Wagner, and I'm the communications manager at Lawyer One. Today, I get to sit down and talk with Robert Woods, who is a Texas-based personal injury attorney. And we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about animal attacks and bites. How are you today?
I'm good, Bri. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So Texas is widely known for its farming. It's very large, spacious lands. On farms, of course, there's a lot of animals, and there's just a lot of people in Texas in general, so I'm sure there's a lot of pet owners. Is
Yes.
something along the lines of seeing an animal bite or attack frequent?
Oh, yeah. Animal, especially dog attacks, they are
Mm-hmm.
very prevalent here in Houston. However, they're
Mm-hmm.
not the only ones. There's cat attacks, there's cow attacks, there's
Oh,
horse
wow.
attacks. It just depends on what kind of animal it is, and as far as liability to the owner.
Okay. And as far as, I mean, obviously we know what an animal bite could lead to, but what really defines an animal attack?
But animal attack is probably anytime someone is actually injured from an interaction with an animal.
Okay.
Uh, Not only a bite, but it could be a scratch or being knocked over. But if you sustain an injury involving an animal, I guess it could be construed as an animal attack.
Mm-hmm. Do you see these cases more commonly with children, or do they happen just as frequently with adults?
Probably more with children because children are more likely to fool with something with an animal they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they they don't fear animals that much. They're inquisitive, so they may go play with a raccoon if they see one, or a cat or a dog, and think
Right.
the dog or cat is friendly when they may
Mm-hmm.
not be. But animals are they don't mind attacking adults also.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Something like, because you had mentioned horses, so something like an adult going up to pet a horse and then the horse reacting and kind of jumping back and they fall over that adult and then they break their hip or something like that. Although the horse's intention probably wasn't malicious, would you say that would
Right.
still be grounds for a lawsuit?
Possibly,
Okay.
because it depends on where was the horse. If the horse was somewhere he was supposed to be, and the person came into his territory, probably not. But if you have a horse and you have him just in the front yard or at the park where people would walk by and then that horse injured somebody, then they probably would be held
Mm-hmm. In the state of Texas, are pet owners strictly liable for injuries caused by their pet, even if they were unaware that it was dangerous or harmful to others?
when it comes to strict liability, it depends on the type of animal. If it's a domestic animal, dog or cat, Texas generally has a one bite rule, which means the owner has to be put on notice that their animal has a propensity to be vicious or
Okay.
will bite somebody. But there are some animals that are deemed vicious. And if you own one of those, then you would be strictly liable for anyone who gets hurt by that animal. Such
Hmm.
as some people like to have bobcats, some people like to have wild exotic animals. You're strictly liable if that animal hurts anybody. But if you have a dog or cat, generally no. But if you have a pit bull, which is known to be vicious,
Hmm.
then there's some argument on both sides as whether or not strict liability would apply.
Okay. After your first attack, or you first initially get attacked, what are the first steps you would recommend to document the event or information you should be asking from the pet owner?
Depending on how bad you're injured. If you're injured badly, just get to the hospital. Animal control, the police, someone would come out there and do a report and most of the follow up for you. Minor injury, then you might want to get the name of the owner, where they live, inquire the veterinarian that the dog or animal sees, so you can get the animal records. If you're injured, then just go ahead and go to the doctor and then make a police report, and they will go back and.
And if you didn't have access to that, that's something an attorney could assist you with as well, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We would we can help you with from medical care to getting the proper reports done, contacting the right agencies to make sure we get all the information to prosecute the case.
And if you were to have gotten a dog bite, you had said depending on the level of how bad the injury is, is there certain grounds that wouldn't be as likely to have a substantial claim, or is there certain, factors that play into that?
It's kind of tough because a lot of time animal attacks are more psychological than physical. When especially with children, they get attacked by a dog. The harm, they might only get a couple of stitches, but psychologically, they can be scarred and have fears. So when you get with a lawyer, he can kind of help you with the physical and the psychological part, because both those are damages that can be claimed, from the injury.
Say, for instance, you were to get an animal bite and you didn't seek medical attention, put some ice on it, it was fine. Week down the road, you start noticing things are a little different. There's a possibility that that animal may have had infectious disease or rabies of some sort. Are there still grounds for filing a claim? Is it too late because you didn't document on the scene?
The thing about a dog bite is that a doctor can tell you it's a dog bite, and as long as you document it when it happened and you know where the dog is and the dog owner, I don't think it could be much medical dispute as to the injury.
Okay.
A dog bite is a dog bite. Unlike in a car wreck or something where someone says, well, my neck hurt. And they say, well, you could have hurt your neck changing a light bulb at home 2 weeks after the incident. Dog bite, it'd be unlikely someone got another dog bite and then want to go blame someone else's dog.
Right.
You on a dog bite case, they're not that difficult.
That's good to know. When you're filing in Texas, is there a statute of limitations on animal attacks and dog bites?
Yes, on any injury in the state of Texas, it's a 2-year statute of limitations.
2 years. What kind of damages can be recovered in a claim like this?
The damages that can be recovered are medical bills, pain and suffering, psychological damage. You might have emotional distress, lost wages, and that's about all.
When somebody is searching for the right attorney for them, what do you recommend the best ways to do that research would be?
I'm kind of a person that always say word of mouth is the best advertisement. So if you have a friend that hasn't, had a problem before and they were happy with a lawyer, I would say ask friends and family. But if you go online, which most people do nowadays, and Google an attorney, make sure they go check the state bar websites, check the individual attorney. Don't just, when you Google for a injury attorney, a whole lot of attorneys are going to pop up, and you shouldn't just get the first one that comes up or has a nice website. Review, look at the lawyer, research the firm, and go to the state bar website and look at really what their expertise and any complaints. Make sure the lawyer is competent to prosecute the case.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today. If you're in the state of Texas and you have experienced an animal attack or bite, or just seeking personal injury attorney, please consider Robert Woods. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bri.